as Saul said, I heard you speak a bunch of times. You know, you're this and that, but I really want you to narrow it down and tell the story. So this is a little different for me, but I'm excited to be here and excited to tell you a little bit of my story. And I kind of name it, I'm a big roller coaster fan. Anybody else in the crowd? Anybody else like roller coasters? And I kind of compare it to a roller coaster is a ride of life. You're going to have your ups and downs, and it's how you battle back from going down, and you keep on going back up, little by little, but not, guess what? Sometimes you get knocked down again. So when you're on that roller coaster ride of life, it's always hard when you're down and out. But you keep fighting and make every day count. And I'm here today to try and inspire and motivate everybody to live your life to the fullest. So for me, as we heard kind of yesterday, funny how a lot of these stories do intertwine. My story began in the early 1900s with my grandparents coming over on a boat from Italy, learning a new trait, learning a new language, and enforcing the hard work and dedication on their 8 children. My father was the youngest of 8, so he was a spoiled brat, of course. But overall, he instilled those values on myself and my 3 brothers. The top right picture there is my parents, my 3 brothers, myself, my wife Jen, and their 10 grandchildren. And family is who you see here today. My family instilled many values in me, and I am the person you see here today because of them. My brothers are a big part of my life, and now I get to instill those values on my own children. That's my wife Jen and I, with our 5 children. Yeah, pretty crazy, I know. And we also added 2 dogs too, why not, you know? The more the merrier. But to keep moving forward, to show them what we do and how you live life to the fullest is some of the hardest things, those of you know who have children. It's not always easy, but you're a team and you take it one day at a time. So for me, football is only a short part of my story. I know the rings do look nice and everything, but I do sometimes like jewelry, especially the woman I'm sure in the crowd. But I wasn't allowed to play football until I got to high school. And that was mom's rules. She's a little 5'2" Italian woman who used to buy the wooden spoons by the pack because she broke it all on the boys, chase us around. But she lived in the kitchen and she knew how to deal with us. But so for me, when I got a chance to play football, top left was my high school picture, and fell in love with it. Gave me a chance to go to school. I wasn't recruited by any D1 school or anything like that. Had a chance and opportunity, that middle picture. And I wish I still can wear a half shirt, but I can't wear that anymore. That was my college picture, so I chose to go to Southern Connecticut State University. No scholarship, go to play football and get my education. I studied special education. I found it truly rewarding. I had the opportunity, well, not opportunity, but my junior year I was an All-American. And a scouting agency came in, knocked on my door and came and worked me out. Pulled my hamstring right out of the gate, so I wasn't on anybody's radar. Senior year, All-American again, ended up hooking up with an agent, got me a chance after the '97 draft, came and went. I was signed with the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Oh, we got some fans in the Green Bay, huh? Had a great 3 years there. Gave me that chance and opportunity to show myself. Also shipped me out to Scotland, this bottom left picture. I was in NFL Europe, came out as one of the top linemen, which helped me prolong my career. And 2 great things that Green Bay did for me was sign me as a rookie free agent and then cut me in 2000. It's that roller coaster ride I talk about and go down. I was out of work for a week, not knowing where I was going. I was just recently married. And where are we going from here? New England Patriots, Bill Belichick gave me a phone call. And I told my wife, I said, New England's going to sign me to a contract. And she looked at me and she said, where is that? So I had to break out the map and show Massachusetts and show where it was. But had 5 great years here. And the last picture, I don't talk much about it, but rough 2 years with the Cleveland Browns. But back to New England, spending 5 great years here. My second year here, those of us all know that date. I was sitting in a dentist chair, listening to a report that a small plane had hit the towers. And my heart jumped. I didn't know what to expect. It wasn't until I left and found out that another plane had hit. Then there was mayhem. I remember putting on Howard Stern and listening to him, and he was a total different person. Listened to his broadcast. Got home, turned the TV on, and saw what was going on down there. I couldn't reach anybody. Those of you remember that cell phones were down. I was getting tornado warnings. I was getting busy signals. I couldn't reach anybody for the next probably 12 hours. I got a phone call finally at night from my father that one of my brothers, he was one of the first responders in Tower 1, but was running out with the building falling behind him. So we were fortunate enough to have him back in our lives. Others weren't as fortunate. So to have him back in our lives is to be by his side and to turn around and to be down with him, to know what they were going through. I wasn't there. I can never fathom what they went through. But just to be by his side and help him and give him the support that he needed to get through it. Because it wasn't only that day. There was the aftermath too. The cleanup efforts, the rescue efforts. It was tough on everybody. My youngest brother broke the academy the Friday before, driving over the Verrazano Bridge in Staten Island and breaking his bunker gear out of plastic to go look for my brother. My other brother was called into work. The following week was canceled by the NFL. I drove down to spend with my family, to be by their side. And my brother Jimmy, who is, where is he? He's sitting on the stairs in that bottom left picture there, who was in Tower 1. No words were said. He walked in the house and he did this. That's how close he was. And he lost many close friends. I gave him a very big hug. And we just talked. And I remember going down to his firehouse and, standing on the FDR Drive and looking down the street. And it's an image that's implanted in my mind that looks like a movie scene, and the smell that I never want to smell again. Went back to work, and the owner, Mr. Kraft, came up to me and asked me if my brothers would be honored to be honorary captains the next game. And they said yes. They came up. They were honored. My father, who was a retired New York City cop, was also honored too. The picture you see me running out there was in the moment. I was being called out, 2 flags taped on the wall. People knew my story. I grabbed them and went running out there because I knew they were out there waiting for me. They're my heroes. I look up to them. They're running at the burning buildings when everybody else is running out. And to be there by their side and to know, what everybody stood for that day. We just so happened to be playing the New York Jets, and hopefully the first and last time we ever see the Jets and Patriots fans holding hands. Those Patriots and Jet fans in the crowd here. But everybody united that day. And to have the opportunity to make a run and be able to make it to New Orleans that year for the 2001 Super Bowl was truly amazing. Picture down bottom right, everybody together, holding a trophy up. Truly amazing. And I got to do that as a player 2 more times. So truly amazing. This one here, I was able to come back and coach in 2014 and help out. And I cherish all of them. They all have great memories, great teammates. But that 2001 season was a long, grueling season, no matter what. And then with everything else going on with my personal family, it was extra long and grueling. So to be able to have them there and hold that trophy up and accomplish something that not many people do that first time, and then having it a couple more times was truly amazing. This year I was coaching in 14. Those of you might know that guy. Well, that's me, of course. Middle guy is Mr. Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. And the other guy is some guy named Tom Brady. I never heard of him, but I used to have to pick him up off the ground every once in a while. But it was a fun night that we received the ring and had a great time. And fortunate enough, he got to fill his thumb last year, where I stopped working there a couple years ago. So back to 2001, when life comes at you fast. I was in training camp, or right before training camp. We used to go down to college, and we became friends with somebody that used to work at one of the stores we used to go to. And she said, my nephew is not doing so good. Any chance we can get him over there? I said, sure, no problem. I said, we exchanged numbers. We got in touch with them, and the connection was made. God works in funny ways in all different spans of life. He gave me that chance and opportunity to meet the Buckley family, who are here today. Honored to meet them. Their son, CJ, was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor in 2001. He lived fulfillment 16 months after that. Amazing kid. As many times as I stopped by his house, no matter how sick he was, he jumped out of bed and would turn around and, never let cancer get him down. And I think truly that's a big reason why we connected. We honored him after his passing with the C.J. Buckley Brain Cancer Research Fund up at Children's Hospital. We raised $500,000 in 3 years for brain cancer research in honor of him. And it's truly amazing work too. That's his doctor in the middle picture down there. And being able to, help his name live on. We are helping research. We are helping kids survive. It's amazing work that we do. And meeting him, God had other plans, because in 2007, here I am, my wife and I, calling that doctor for my own help. I know, I look pretty good bald, right? Although I hated it. I'm a big guy, I sweat a lot, and the sweat just runs down your face. So, in meeting CJ, and knowing that we had 3 events, called it our sailing star, because he was a big sailor, out on the boat, he didn't have cancer. Calling the doctor for my own help now, and I finished my 10th year in the league, training to go play for my 11th, and I had a stomach ache. It prolonged. We took a scan, I got a phone call, and told me they found a large tumor in or around my colon. There I go. I remember calling my wife. She was at a school event with the kids, and I said, honey, I need you to come home right now. What happened? I said, I just need you to come home. Sat down, and basically you got to smack yourself, and you got to flip that switch. Okay, not officially diagnosed yet, but I got to move on. I had 4 children at the time. We have kids. I want to see them grow up. I want to grow old with my wife. How am I going to fight this thing? We sat down. We were in Cleveland at the time, and I remember pros and cons list. Where are we going? Because we were going anywhere for the best treatment. And of course, we chose Boston. We came here for Dana-Farber, and I spent the next, 50 plus days. So it was May 31st, 2007. Met with my doctor right off the plane, and he told me, he goes, I'm not taking another test. You're stage 4. We're starting chemo tomorrow for Burkitt's lymphoma, which is a very rare and aggressive form of non-hodgkins lymphoma that doubles in size in 24 hours. So action had to be done fast because it is aggressive. There was aggressive chemo. And probably, some of the worst experiences that, are blocked out of my mind because of chemo brain. But overall, to turn around and now be able to, that picture right there is my last day of chemo, thumbs up, but it didn't end there. Those of you who know cancer patients and chemo wasn't fun. You want to snap your finger and you want to go back to normal. It's not easy. I battled a big battle with depression, anxiety. I didn't want to leave my house. I wanted nothing to do with cancer. And then it was a day-to-day process, a week-to-week process, trying to push myself to move forward for my wife and my children. Out of nowhere, a mother from Maine, just 2007, so she's reaching out through, online, Google search, and reaching out and got a hold of my parents and got a hold of my brothers, trying to get in touch with me to talk to her son, who was just diagnosed with Burkitt's lymphoma. I said, sure, I'll call him. Give me his number. Top right picture, that's Noah Folger. He was going to school to become a doctor. I hung up that phone call. I'm glad to say right now he did more for me than I think I did for him, but he is now a pediatric oncologist, which is truly amazing. But I hung up that phone and I looked at my wife and I said, let's do this, because she was already in the process of starting the foundation, and instead of raising money and just giving it to Dr. Mark Kieran, let's help on a personal note. We see the families. We were in the hospital. Those families that are affected. Medical bills can be put on a payment plan. We're helping on the back end. So the Joe Andruzzi Foundation was born May 2008. We help with mortgage, rent, utilities, the financial distress that comes along with cancer, so you can relieve a little bit of that burden so you can care for your loved ones. And that's where we step in and pay it forward. Sit. Since May of 2008, we've helped over 7,000 families and individuals. It's truly amazing work that when Jen and I go visit the hospital, or any hospital or home, or visit anybody at their house, but to get a hug from a stranger is truly amazing. I just recently was filling up my truck with gas and somebody came out of nowhere to give me a hug with tears in their eyes. And it gives me chills to even talk about today, but it's amazing work that we do. We have a great staff and a board that helps us move forward, many events that we have throughout the year. And between a gala event, golf event, we have other people that raise money for us. But we also have a Boston Marathon team who are our ambassadors that go out there, and I don't know how they do it. Well, my wife's at the bottom right. She ran it twice, 26 miles. I don't like to drive 26 miles, but she decided to lace up her shoes and run 26.2 miles for the Boston Marathon and for the Joe Andruzzi Foundation. And the picture you see in the middle there, we were there 5 years ago. We were standing together, not knowing what just happened. And then the second bomb went off. And then the craziness happened. I remember running down Boylston Street, losing her, then finding her again, going down, trying to make it back. The second bomb site we found out was right in front of our watch party at Forum Restaurant. And we didn't know if all of our people were safe. We didn't know what was going on. Once again, just like 9/11, the phones weren't working. It was a very eerie feeling. My wife pointed out a woman that her 2 young girls were carrying on their back. So I ran over, I said, let me help. So I scooped her up and walked her down a block to an ambulance, waited there with her and the kids until somebody came back. And she came back a year later, healed up, and ran the marathon a year later. Truly amazing. As well as many others who came back the following year, because Boston came back stronger than ever, and we weren't going to let that get us down. Especially us as a foundation. We went back to Forum, doubled our team members, doubled raising money, and it was a truly amazing year. We're still a part of it, still a part of many different areas in the New England area. Falmouth Road Race, we had a great team, each year getting bigger and better. But those are our ambassadors. Those runners you see there go out, raise money, and put their body to the test. They're paying it forward for us. So we're able to do that in many different ways. Whether it's a mortgage, rent, utilities, many of the pictures here, visits to hospitals, some other people, it's our gala event up top. Mayor Marty Walsh was also a Burkitt's lymphoma patient back in the day, and he spoke for us. But just amazing stories to be a part of. One of our runners this year for the Falmouth Road Race was a patient recipient and came back and now is paying it forward and ran 7 miles and raised money to pay it forward for other cancer patients. So for us, it's what we do. We love doing it and motivating everybody and being able to keep paying it forward and live life to the fullest. That roller coaster ride of life, it's tough. Sometimes you hit that tunnel. Those of you who ride roller coasters, there's some tunnel rides. I was in that tunnel in 2007. And, fortunate enough, I have a great wife who kicked me out of that tunnel and put me on a plane. We were able to get best treatment and be able to move forward, partner up, start the Joe Andruzzi Foundation, which upbeat cancer is our slogan. It's about staying upbeat and positive through every day in your life. Keep paying it forward. We are a foundation that strives on the almighty dollar to pay it forward, but there's many things to do in life. I couldn't be here today without platelet donors, get on a bone marrow registry, blood donation. I went through an enormous amount of bags of blood during my 3-month stay. My whole family came from New York to donate a whole bunch of blood. I went through that in 1 day. And the best bag of blood was my little brother who came from a bachelor party. It had a little, it tasted real good. It had a little olive in it. But keep paying it forward. And if I could leave you with one thing today, you can't change what you did yesterday. Although yesterday was a great day, but you can't change what you did yesterday. Can't even change what you ate for breakfast this morning. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We never do. We can plan for tomorrow, but we don't know what's coming. Live for the moment, live for today, enjoy each and every day, and love your loved ones. God bless you all. Thank you very much.